check, good. So I'm Max Ceron, Max Ceron, CWB Association Welding Podcast. Today we have a really cool guest, Welding Podcast.
The show is about to begin.
Hello and welcome to another edition of the CWB Association Podcast. My name is Max Ceron, and today we have a guest coming back. She was the sixth person we ever interviewed here, and now we're over 70, I believe, in the show. So, Jamie McMillian, how are you doing?
I'm doing amazing. How are you?
I'm good. And for the people that are listening, if the sound sounds weird, check out the YouTube video because she's on site. So, Jamie, where are you right now?
Right now, I'm in Toronto at the Stone Mason and Bricklayers Training Center.
Cool. And what are you doing there?
So I'm helping out with a program. It's called Tomorrow's Trades, and it's a bunch of pre-apprentices going through some programs to test out which skilled trade they want to be in. So over the course of, I think it's 8 weeks, this program, they get to go to different facilities and try different things. So far they've done electrical, plumbing, now they're bricklaying. And then I believe next week they'll be doing like welding and different things. So exciting.
So, and there's lots of these tri-trades happening all over Canada. And, they're so important to try to get the trades in front of kids.
Absolutely.
So what's the age group of the people that are in this program?
So there's high school students all the way in grade 12 and 13 that have done the Ontario Youth Apprenticeship Program. And then there's some older people as well. So I think one of the oldest ones in the program is 46. So it does definitely go through different age groups.
So it's kind of open to anybody.
Yeah. It's a really amazing program. It's through the Ontario Building Trades Union.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a lot of the unions that are involved.
Okay, awesome. And so, did you get the call through your union or through your personal contacts?
Yeah, so I know Adam Melnick, who works for them, and I believe this is his baby. So he gave me a call. They had an instructor that needed to take some time off, and so I was somebody on the radar. So I'm actually really grateful that it's amazing. I'm getting to try things today with the Masons that I've never tried before as well. So I think I'm just as excited as the students.
Awesome. So if we go back to almost a year ago when we interviewed the first time, we spent a lot of time talking about your career path and how you got into the trades and sort of, what led you there. And I know, for the people that are first-time listeners to you and haven't seen the previous episode, I definitely recommend go back and check that out. But today, what I want to do is kind of circle around and see what's been going on in the last, 9 months since we talked, because, for the people that follow you on Instagram and on LinkedIn, you're posting stuff up a lot and there's lots going on. So, what are some of the things you've been doing, I guess? And this might be a really large open-ended question, but, what are some of the key things that are new in your world?
All right. So how many hours do we have? So great things are happening. So kind of now with the COVID restrictions sort of going away, we're getting to the point where we're starting to go back into training centers and schools. So that's a really good thing. We are expanding our program. So we have a lot of people reaching out to us now to be part of our KickAss team. So we have a directory of people that we're trying to create across Canada and the United States for resources for of authentic tradespeople to go into schools and talk. So they're all just as passionate. We all have different roles that we're playing. We're partnering with a lot of organizations. So we're really starting to get recognized. And we've just recently, our most recent partnership is with the Ontario Building Tradeswomen's Organization, who work directly with the Ontario Building Trades. And we are also starting a partnership with Helmets to Hard Hats I think our contract starts in April, and we'll be reaching out to veterans and trying to bring them into the skilled trades.
So how are you looking to expand? You said you were getting into Canada and the US. So, what does that look like for KickAss Careers? And then how does your work you're doing in Ontario get replicated in other areas?
Okay, so yeah, our new partnership was with the Ontario one, but we're partnership with the manufacturers and exporters for Canada and the HVAC industry across Canada. So we do have some national programs and international programs that we work with. And our team program is basically, so we're creating a directory. So we are registered as a trademark and an organization across Canada and the United States. Our co-founder lives in California, and we also have representatives down in the US. So it's pretty much the people that are passionate about doing this that want to come on the team are across Canada and the United States. Right now, we have more representation in specifically Ontario. But as we expand, yeah, we're bringing more people on board. So I have a lucky opportunity coming up too. I will be going to speak to the tech teachers down in the US at one of the largest educational conferences. So I'm really excited about that because that'll give us more of an opportunity to get more expansion in the United States.
And which conference is that you're going to be speaking at?
I can't remember the name of it off, but I just know that it's going to be in Cape Cod in September.
Awesome. Well, that sounds like it'll be lots of fun. September out in Cape Cod.
Oh my gosh, I can't wait. Yeah.
So, if someone's listening to this and they say they're in Alberta or Newfoundland and they say, how do I get involved with the programs that you guys are running, and you guys are looking to establish yourselves in other areas, how do they reach out? What do they do?
So basically, if they want to reach out through any of the KickAss Careers social media, they can contact us. They can go to the KickAss Careers website and contact us, or they can email us at hello@kickasscareers.ca. And then basically what we're just looking for is we're looking for people who are authentically in the trades or pursuing a career in the trades. And we want people who are really authentic and passionate about showing the skilled trades and representing them as they are. So we want to see people in the workplace. And if they're allowed to take photos, that's one thing. We don't want anybody to do things that they're not supposed to do, but we're really looking for people who are passionate to do these things and to go into schools and to talk, but that have that trade experience, so that we're not just pointing towards the trades. We actually are in the trades, and we can speak with that credibility that students often ask questions that some people can't answer, and we can.
That was just something that I was talking about with somebody online today, is about the credibility of speakers about trades, and how sometimes we have people coming to talk about trades in different areas or schools, but they're not tradespeople. They're, people that sit in offices or bureaucrats, and they're trying to tell people about the trades, but they're wearing a suit and they've never done a trade in their life. So it's hard to make that connection, as opposed to when you see an actual tradesperson like their job. That's a different thing.
Absolutely. It's interesting. One of the very first times I went out to do a speaking gig was with the CWB. And we went into a at-risk youth detention center. So it's a maximum security detention center. And I remember at the time going in dressed up, because it was kind of like, you go in, you dress up nice, you show up, you present. The only thing with that was that I wasn't looked at like a skilled trades professional. I was looked at as I was somebody in a corporate industry, and the that were in there were not interested in me until I got up and I started speaking with credibility. And then they thought I was pretty badass. But before that, they just thought I was another, another corporate person, and they had no interest. So what's interesting about that development was that one of the really difficult people to reach in that program, a female, she ended up, when she realized I was authentic, I ended up working with her for months and months after through the CWB, and it was awesome just for that authenticity. Had I not had that authenticity, she wouldn't have been interested.
Well, and that's such a big part of, at the association, we're trying to restructure, right? And this last year, we've kind of turned everything on its head. And so much of it is about getting the chapters back in front of people, like the actual volunteers, the actual people that, put the helmet on every day, they put the boots on every day, and getting them to go speak. Because even me, even though I am a tradesperson and I did my time, for me to fly into somewhere and talk, I'm kind of not their local person. I'd rather someone from their area, their industry, they understand where the local coffee shop is, and the local welding shop, and the local everything. They're the person that should be talking to the students, not me. Right. And I think that's kind of what you're trying to do with this outreach or directory of people around North America.
Yeah, make it so that if there's, say, educational institutions in the area, so teachers are looking for speakers, or even employers are looking for speakers, and anybody in the industry, they can go on to KickAss Careers, they can go onto our directory, and then they can find people in their area or close to their area, or even somebody that can speak to what they're looking for, even if it's virtually, now that we can use that virtual. So that's basically what I want to do. So I want to build this empire of people that are passionate and want to represent.
So now in these jobs, is there like a specific commitment? You know, like if I get put on your directory and I get the email being like, hey, someone in your area needs a speaker for 2 weeks from now in the evening, is that like, you know, there's a contract signed, just for the people that are wondering how this works?
Okay, that's actually an awesome question. So basically, when you come to KickAss Careers, if you're looking to be on the team, you're a free agent. It's a volunteer program, and we're profiling you as somebody that's passionate about this. We don't expect you to be, just committed to us. It's not like there's not a no compete clause. You could be an ambassador for the CWB, or, whoever you want to be an ambassador for, and we're just going to help give you another platform on. And then we just ask that you represent with, respect. We do have, a code of conduct that we want to follow, because we don't want to. One of the things we don't want to do is we don't want to sexualize the industry or add filters or make it look like something it's not. We want to show the industry for how it really is. And then we want to also help implement the changes that it needs. So we don't want it to look like it's something, oh yeah, come into this, we're going to be dancing around on a job site wearing, like our, female clothes. It's not like that. We want to show it exactly how it is, and then talk about the challenges and barriers, because not everybody can talk to those without that experience. And that's something we want to work on and support and talk people through.
So when you're looking at your ambassadors, you know, are you looking at men and women? Are you looking at people of color, indigenous, the LGBTQ community? You know, like, are you trying to get it as wide as possible?
Absolutely. We want to definitely represent everyone, and we want to represent all trades. And it's not just about all the trades too, it's about all the different pathways within the trades. So we have, for example, we have people that are in our program that have actually finished an apprenticeship. Our co-founder is with the LGBT community. She's down in the US, and she's actually retired now. We have other people that are coming in and they're in health and safety. We want to have, welding inspectors. We have somebody in renewable energy. We want to have the people that are in skilled trades, but also the people that went through skilled trade pathways and then ended up taking those pathways and moving on to further their career in other directions. So it's not just people on the tools, it's showing how you can take this and become anything. Like your position now, you're working for the CWB in a different role. I'm now working as a professional speaker, and we still are involved with the trades, but we came from the trades, and that's how we got to where we are today. And that's important. I want to showcase that.
Yeah. Also, and this is something that maybe you can even help me. Like, we're looking at the association expanding our community support. So, you know, we really focused hard on Black History Month and making sure that we're communicating these things, not just like, you know, referring about them, but being involved, finding Black welders and telling their story. Same with Women Empowerment Month. We're actually offering free training for women empowerment and allyship on our website. So free courses for anybody that's a member, and like put our money where our mouth is type of stuff. And now we're looking forward to June for Pride Month. And, you know, we're reaching out to communities being like, if you're a welder or a fabricator or in the steel industry and you're a part of the LGBT community, please reach out to us, because we're looking to profile some people and make it normal, like how it should be. You know, like, this is just another story, this is just another journey of a different person. And for all the people out there that are worried or scared, there's someone just like you that's done it before, so it's doable. There's a community for you.
Yep, absolutely. And that's what we want to do as well. There is definitely these kind of careers are for anybody that has the passion and drive to be in this community. So it doesn't matter what color your skin is, what age you are, as long as you're of legal age. Like that shouldn't matter. All that should matter is that you are passionate about doing this job and you have the ability to do so. You have that work ethic, and that's what's really important. And the attitude. We got to remember that a lot of this, you need the right attitude, and that's what we're looking for.
Now, with your programs going forward, you're expanding the ambassador network. What's some of the like messaging you're trying to push out through your ambassadors? Because obviously there's probably some key points you really want them to focus on when they go out into the community on your behalf. What are some of these things that you guys are trying to focus on?
Well, one of the biggest and most important things is the recruitment piece. So right now we have huge issues with recruitment. So I was just at LaUna in Hamilton a few weeks ago, and found out just their union alone needs 20,000 workers in Ontario. So right now our message really is that in the next 10 years, we're going to have such a huge labor shortage, because we already do. And so what we want to do is we really want to encourage those students. So I really focus on student recruitment. So planting those seeds all the way from kindergarten, all the way through high school, and telling them, like, look, when you get to high school, you're going to have opportunities with these elective programs to explore different pathways. Why not use those opportunities to get the free education while you're there, to sign up for those shop classes? I mean, these are practical life skills that I think should definitely be part of curriculum. They should be, to me, it should be compulsory credits. You take, like, a shop class and learn how to do automotive and learn how to do construction, and understanding that welding is like the glue that holds the world together. Like, learn this stuff, because infrastructure is everywhere and there's so many careers in it. But if you take those programs in high school and you realize, wow, I don't like it really, well, think of the practical life skills you've just gained. I mean, you will save thousands of dollars in your lifetime just being able to fix your own car. Basic things like doing your brakes, or changing a flat tire, or in your house plastering a wall. Like, those are skills that everybody should learn. And if you love it, jump into skilled trades, because these are amazing careers with so many different pathways.
It's also really important to know that, or to even just recognize that you can't respect what you don't understand. So even if you decide to not go into the trades, if you've taken a shop class, maybe it's not for you, but you're going to look at shop people different going forward, because you're going to know the skills that it takes to do that. So, your friend becomes a mechanic and you become a lawyer, you know that they are just as important as you are for whatever career path you go down. And you don't really learn that unless you dip your fingers in it. You know what I mean? It's like everyone says it's easy to be a lawyer until you go to hire one and you see the work they do. And it's like, oh man, I would never want to do that. Like, that's a lot of work. That's not what I'm cut out for. And I think it needs to go both ways with the trades too. People need to get a taste so that they understand whether they like it or not, and then respect it in either case.
Absolutely. Yeah, I definitely think, and that is part of it. For so long, we haven't respected skilled trades as a career option. I mean, other countries, they respect their skilled trades workers, whereas here that craftsmanship isn't looked at the same. It's like, we have, like, I think Hollywood's responsible for a bit of that, making the plumbers all about the butt cracks, and making construction workers look like they're always sexist, and like they've just shown it to be dirty jobs and hard physical jobs, and they haven't shown the real impact of construction and what it has in today's society. And I think that's important, like showcasing that these are lucrative careers, good paying careers, where, man, I don't even need a gym membership. I get to work out for I get paid to work out, and that's a super cool thing. Right?
Well, and the benefits and the pensions and all the other things that go with it, right? Like,
it's endless, and you can work anywhere in the world. Like, we were just learning this because today we're at the Masons schooling center, and it's so wicked because today we're learning about how, if they pack a suitcase to go traveling anywhere in the world, all they have to do is bring a trowel, and they can pick up work anywhere, because everywhere there's construction. So you want traveling or backpacking, you can work anywhere.
now, actually, this is probably a really good time for a quick commercial break. And then when we come back, I'd like to talk to you about, what the other points are that you're trying to push out, and maybe some of the obstacles we might be seeing in Canada in terms of these recruitments and information. So We'll be right back here for the listeners, so don't go anywhere, and we'll be back with Jamie McMillian here on the CWB Association Podcast. And we're back here on the CWB Association Podcast. My name is Max Ceron, and we're here with Jamie McMillian of the KickAss Careers. And I think you were a Boilermaker and an iron worker and a whole bunch of other stuff in your life. So, I don't think we can pinpoint a specific career for you.
Nope. I started in healthcare, and then I ended up in bartending and found skilled trades. And I'll be honest with you, skilled trades saved my life. And if I could choose to do it all over again, I would jump into skilled trades right out of high school.
Yeah. So we were talking about right before the break, recruitment and what a big issue is. And I actually have a huge thorn in my butt today because I sit in meetings every week about recruitment at the federal level. What are we going to do? We need a bazillion workers. Provincial level, what are we going to do? We need a bazillion workers. At the municipal level, all the schools, all the cities are like, we need so many workers for our project. The union's crying for more workers. And then I just found out that one of my local high schools with the welding program is getting shut down. And it's like, so what's the disconnect? Like, and this is a problem you hear about, I hear about. What is going on in the world where we know we need so many more tradespeople, but we can't seem to get the support from the education systems? What is it that we're missing? What do you think?
So we're lucky because we're in a time now where the government is recognizing this, because COVID hit. And I think what happened was all of a sudden everybody realized that construction was essential.
Mm-hmm.
B, they realized that they had all this time on their hand and now they needed to do renovations, and they're calling for construction people, and people are waiting months to get work done. All the construction workers ended up staying so busy through COVID. In fact, they picked up more work. And so I think people are starting to recognize it. But the problem is that when we go back years ago and we started to look when technology started taking over and IT came in, everybody just kind of turned their back on trades. They took the technical programs out of school. All the teachers that were in the school were all like academic pathways, and they didn't understand the importance of trades. And everybody started pushing computers. And next thing you know, you have all these schools, no trade classes, and no one's telling students to take it. They're telling them, go to college, go to university, and they're pushing all these white collar jobs on students, and they completely forgot about trades until one day we have this big labor shortage gap, and roads are falling apart, buildings are crumbling, and we don't have anybody to repair them. And the worst part of it is that these experienced people that have been in the industry for so long are now retiring, and who's here to pass us our trade secrets? So I think that's where the problem started to develop. Now, the other problem that we're seeing a lot of is that we're starting to encourage these students to take these pathways, but employers are also causing a big gap for us because nobody wants to take a first-year apprentice. They want like a third or fourth-year apprentice. And so people are interested in skilled trades, and then they're sitting there scratching their head going like, everyone told me to take this pathway, now I can't get a job. So those are the two biggest things that I'm seeing in my specific outreach program and the work that I do.
Yeah, no, and I see the same things. I had someone explain to me, an economist, that we have about an 8 to 10 year trade gap from what we need to what we want. And that if everyone signed up today for a trade, they're still 3 years out from being a master. So a master, you got Red Seal, 3 to 4 years. So if we go 8 to 10 behind, plus another 3 to 4 to catch up, we're 13 years out, 12 years out from even just catching up. Now, the other note is if every single high school student in Canada signed up for the trades right now, we still wouldn't even have enough. So what happens is that people are retiring, young people are coming in, and there's this 10-year gap. So the skills aren't being handed off. So the companies are like, okay, all my experienced workers are leaving. I need experienced replacements. All that I can find are first years. What do we do now? And this is kind of like too bad for you situation, because we kind of screwed up by ignoring the trades for 10 years. So there is no way to magically make up that number. There is no way to magically make first year students be your best welder or best fabricator in the shop, because that takes time. So one of the things that the government's doing, and I agree with this, but it's going to be difficult, is immigration. Okay, well, countries like, look at the Ukraine. The Ukraine, Eastern Europe values tradespeople. Germany, Romania, Bulgaria, all Eastern Europe, they value their tradespeople very highly. So maybe we look at bringing in the 30, 40-year-olds from those countries to be the gap fillers, to be the people that can transition us from the retired people to the first year students. But please, to the employers out there, hire the first year students, because you're going to need them at one point or another, no matter how you swing it. So,
Well, absolutely, and get them in before those retired people are gone, like completely. Like, at least get them soaking up as much as they can learn from those people, because the trade seekers, and I can attest to this. I love working with those people that are close to retirement, or sometimes I get to work with people who are coming back out of retirement to pick up work. They are the best people to learn from, because even with all this modern technology and stuff, they still have tricks that nobody can match.
and it's in my life, almost all my best mentors have been people that have been, you know, 5, 10 years away from retirement, and they teach you things that actually make you better with technology, because now it's a double win. I know this way of doing it and this way of doing it and technology. So no matter what happens, I'll be able to problem solve my way through it.
Yep. Yep.
So what are some of the other messages that you have for your ambassadors going out, outside of recruitment? I know that you are heavily involved with the, women empowerment and helping women get a strong voice. In a year, the last time we spoke, do you feel that there's been a headway? Are we moving forward? How do you feel about your work in the last, since the last time we spoke?
In some ways, it's hard to say because of COVID. I haven't been able to get that same experience. And the other problem that I'm getting right now with the whole COVID thing is that there has been a lot of people that have gone through technical programs in colleges. And because of that entire situation, a lot of them didn't get co-ops. So they
Hmm.
didn't get hands-on experience that they really, really needed. And now they're struggling even more to get jobs because they don't even have that co-op experience, yet they've graduated from their program. So it's hard for me to say how much things have moved forward in the greater picture of all those things. All I know is that because of COVID, we have this huge recognition now that this is such a valuable career pathway. And now I've never seen the government be so supportive of all these programs and promoting women in trades and LGBT communities and the BIPOC communities, the
Hmm.
indigenous communities. So that's been, I've recognized that there's so much more on the recruitment side now, and that's pretty amazing.
That's good. And like, one of the biggest problems that we're trying to figure out our way through in the association is, there's all these agencies doing amazing work for recruitment. The Boilermakers have this UTIP program. It's amazing. There's all these other initiatives across the country that are just trying to pull students in. Although I hear from colleges, there's still tons of empty programs that I hate to see the government put money in, places get new equipment, and then there's no students. So like, we got to get students bums in those seats.
Yeah.
But then after that, I think it's kind of where the association could try to help too, is we need people to stay in the trades. We need them to do the long haul, to get through, whether they go the apprenticeship stream or not. Not all provinces push apprenticeship, and I get that. That's not for me to preach about. That's up to the provinces and their politicians to figure out. But we need people to stay in the trades one way or another, whether you apprentice or not, whether you ticket or not, whatever it is you do, but just stay and become better at it and become a master, become a leader, become a supervisor, a foreman, because we need to start filling those roles fast, right?
Absolutely. Yeah. And I think I forgot to mention this before, and something you just said triggered that thing, is that another thing we need to do is educate parents, because
Mhm.
parents are not as supportive of trades either. A lot of parents are like, well, I don't want my child to be in an industry that's, heavy work and dirty work. And they don't see that all the different pathways that there are in this industry for people to climb that corporate ladder, to go into those foreman positions and general foreman and superintendent. And they don't understand also, like, look at the welding inspectors. They make so much money. And if you have a background in welding, you're going to be that much better at that
Mhm.
job when you get into it. And I think that that's something we need to really push out for the retention piece of it, is letting people know all those different pathways once you're inside. And this is another thing about skilled trades is, so I have really bad ADHD. And I've realized throughout my lifetime that skilled trades is a great career pathway for people with ADHD, because not only are we have a lot of energy, we're really creative, but the other thing is that with ADHD, and I've had to take years to recognize this, but it's kind of like a superpower in the trades. And my friend Stacy Hinton actually is the one that told me that, because employers like those people who can multitask, and people with ADHD tend to be able to do that very well.
Yeah, we just actually spoke about that in a couple episodes ago about how, we should, one of the aspects of destigmatizing the trades is just accepting that all kids are different. We spent a long time in this education system trying to push kids into this mold or this cookie cutter. And we know now that it didn't work. We really know that that was kind of a failed experiment. Okay, well, let's just go back to allowing kids to be themselves. And you know what? If you have a child that doesn't like to sit at a desk, they're hyper, they want to get bounced around, they got a pile of energy. Well, let's just accept that. And there's lots of jobs in society for kids that are like that, and we love those kids in the welding world. If you got a kid that hyper focuses and likes to get really focused on things, and they like to have lots of energy, send them our way. 100%, we'll put those kids to work and they will be awesome welders. If you have kids that are really into like multitasking and doing lots of different things, well, there's lots of jobs for that too. We don't have to force these kids into these jobs where they're going to be brutally unhappy and not succeed. Let's just let them be themselves and be successful in other careers.
Absolutely. Yep, I agree.
Oh, lunch is over.
I'm not sure what that bell is. Oh, it's the gut wagon.
Food is here.
The food is here, yeah. So they have first year apprentices inside the main hall right now, and then we're in the back training center. And so every time the gut wagon goes by, everybody goes running for it. So, the skilled trades to me is like, I don't know. It's one of the best things. I just wish I could do everything in skilled trades. It's so fascinating. The other thing about it is when you're on a job site, you're doing different things all the time. You're working with different people. You can't get bored because it's ever changing. And speaking of hyper focus, I can't sit still, but I can when I'm welding. And I don't know why, but it's just one of those things where I can hyper focus on something that I can't do that with anything else. So
staring at that little blue light, there's 1,000 parameters going through your mind every split second. Angle, sound, smell, color, joints, the wire speed, everything, that you get so caught up in that focusing aspect that you don't even know what's going on.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And it's funny too, because when I'm welding, I think sometimes it's like a challenge, right? So like I'll be on a job site and I'm a female, right? So I'm not always like, I might be the only girl on a job site sometimes, and the guys are like, oh, the girls shouldn't be in the trades. And so sometimes I'll turn it into just like a friendly competition, like, oh yeah, okay, so like you don't think I can weld because I'm a girl, so now I'm gonna focus on welding even more, just to kind of like be competitive with some of the guys that I'm working with. It's kind of fun.
Do you still see a lot of that attitude in the world, or is it getting better, or at least they learning to shut their mouths?
In some cases, it's getting better. And you know what? I kind of don't want these retired guys to go away, because everybody thinks the old school guys are the harder ones. But I'm honestly, the old school guys that are retiring, they're some of the better ones. They're so like good at teaching us and encouraging us. It's like they want to take you under their wing and show you, so they can take credit for you being that really good worker that you turn out to be. It's awesome. I'm going to bring you inside because I got to go plug in my phone. I just got a notification that it's going to die.
Okay. Well, we should probably just cut this off, because once you start moving, it's going to get really loud. And so, is there anything you want to, just let people know about your program or contacting you before we end the interview? Like get your information out there for everyone right now.
Okay. I want to elaborate on one thing first, because I think this is important and we didn't touch on it. And this is a pathway that I'm starting to take more and more, because throughout COVID, I took a second job helping out at a shelter. And I've realized that one of the really important things, especially in the construction world, is mental health. Mental health is such a big piece of all industries, but in construction, because we're working with so many different people, we're moving from site to site, we work with a lot of different personalities, a lot of different stigmas, barriers, challenges. So taking care of your own mental health, and even taking some kind of programs to learn about mental health, like mental health first aid and stuff, is really important sensitivity training, so that you're learning how to control your own emotions and state of mental wellness and mindfulness on the job site, but that you're also understanding how to work with other people with their personalities and differences on the job site. I think that's really important. So I just
no, and that's great, because that's exactly one of the things that we now offer at the CWB Association through our upskilling program. We have mindfulness, we have allyship, we have empowerment, we have mental health first aid. These are all free courses now that you can access through the association for our members, and they're on a schedule. So you're going to have to wait for the next round to come through. But if anybody just wants to take them, or if you want to go to your employer and say, hey, our library is open at all times and we have a discount. So if you don't want to wait for the free schedule to come around, you can just go to our website and just take the course, and you get a huge discount as a member, and most companies will pay for it. It's it's generally something that's covered. And I've taken all my mental health and awareness training, and it's made me a better employee and a better boss. It's made me be a better person to work with.
Yeah, I feel like it's made me a better person all around, like not even the workplace, just understanding my own mental health, because we all have mental health issues, and we all deal with levels of depression and anxiety. And sometimes in the workplace, you can deal with it in a lot of different ways, especially if you're a minority in the workplace, like a visible minority. So so that's really important.
And going forward, everyone just needs to maybe step back and remember that these last 2 years have been traumatic to everyone. No one escaped the trauma. When everyone comes, you ask everyone, how you doing? Fine. How you doing? Fine. No, we're not. None of us. We all had something to deal with.
Oh yeah, we're not. None of us are getting this out of this unscathed, for sure. So yeah.
So what would you like people to know in terms of contacting you or reaching out to you?
Oh man, if you are interested in promoting skilled trades or recruiting tomorrow's workforce, please, if you're passionate about it, just contact us at kickasscareers.ca. Contact me Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, on the website. Just if you want to find us, we're happy to connect with you. And then if you want to be profiled on our website and come on board as one of the team members, we work together as a team. You're a free agent, but we work together as a team to encourage and support each other. We have an online chat. We help you with presentations, feeling comfortable to present. And I'm kind of an expert in the subject now of talking to kids. So I really like to help my team to do that as well, because there's a lot of tricks and tips that I've learned along the way. So.
And what about areas? Is there any areas in Canada that you'd really like to get your fingernails in that you haven't been able to?
Absolutely, yeah. I would love to go across Canada. I've worked mostly in Ontario. I've done a bit of stuff in BC. I just did a keynote in Manitoba, and I'm invited to go back again. But I definitely want to get more across Canada and the United States. We want to make this a program that's recognized internationally and maybe someday globally.
Awesome. Okay. Well, Jamie, it's been great having you on the show. You got to get back to work. I'm sure you got kids waiting for you. And I hear the trucks rolling around, and you probably want to get some food from the gut wagon too. So
I don't want food from the gut wagon, but I can show you a little bit of where I am if I can flip this. Maybe I can't. So I'll just do. So that's the training center over there. Can you see it?
All right. Yeah, I can see it.
And then we have all this stone stuff over here. Truck. This is the first time I've ever come to this training center. So here's a forklift, and then this is where we are inside.
Awesome. Well, for the people that are listening to the podcast, check it out on YouTube. You can see the video on there, and you can see what she's talking about. And thank you so much for being on the show and taking time out of your obviously very busy day to talk to us.
Yes, thank you so much for having me, and thanks for enjoying this little tour. It's been awesome.
Well, take care, Jamie. You have yourself a great day.
You too. Bye. Thank you.
Awesome. And for all the people, thanks for listening to the show. Make sure you keep downloading and sharing the show. We're going to be out in Denver next week and recording lots there. And we're gearing up huge for CanWeld 2022 at the Toronto Congress Center. So make sure you sign up and fly out and come see the CanWeld Fab Tech show. We teamed up with Fab Tech Canada. It's going to be huge. We're going to have tons of fun, and we're planning events for every night. So, hopefully see you there. Make sure you check out the training and programs we have for free online now at the association website, CWBAssociation.org. Training supplements on the left. Click on it. We have free courses running every month. We need those seats filled in order to keep the program prospering and to get more sponsors involved in supporting. If you are a company looking to sponsor a training program or even just anything to do with the association and get your voice out there, reach out to us anytime on our website. Also, we have our email, info@CWBAssociation.org. Everyone take care, and we'll talk soon.
We hope you enjoyed the show.